questions are on here. I'm looking at my laptop if you're wondering what I'm looking at. Okay, so there's 50 questions. I did 50 because I didn't have time to do 500 questions. Maybe at some point. But there's not enough room on my phone for that. And I don't know if anyone would want to watch like a 3-hour video. I thought I would bring the little mic back, my mini mic, and do some gum whispers. I was gonna do gum chewing, but because of my throat and all of that, I didn't, so I apologize, but I want to do a gum chewing video again soon. So I think we can go ahead and just go through these questions. They're like kind of personal, kind of not, but I looked through them a little bit and I feel like you'll get to know me fairly well. So if you enjoy these or have any similar answers, give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I want to see if we can get to 600 soon. So the first question is, where did you grow up? And what was it like growing up? I'm not going to say where I grew up for privacy reasons. Suburbs. I mean, what was it like growing up? It was pretty run-of-the-mill. We're pretty family-oriented. So we did a lot of things like as a family with my siblings and my parents and everything. My grandparents live a little ways away, so we didn't see them like all the time. But I mean, we had such great neighbors. We lived in a cul-de-sac and we're like outside with our neighbors constantly. And I was so sad when we moved. I was so sad. Like we definitely outgrew the house because there's a lot of us, but I cried. I was 8th grade going into like freshman year of high school, and I was like, it was like one of the first times I realized I was kind of an emotional person. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was awesome. What are your siblings like? Crazy. I have 2 sisters and a brother. I mean, like not every sibling relationship, but a lot of sibling relationships. We have our ups, we have our downs. But they're pretty great people. And especially as we're all getting older, it's cool to see them like start their own lives and be independent and find things that they love and their passions, and then to still come together and connect. It's really special. And what about your parents? My parents are great. I love them. I love them. I love them. I hope you can't hear my stomach growling. I finally got my appetite back. My parents are great. I don't want to say too much like revealing information about them necessarily, but a lot of humor. They were pretty strict, but I now that I'm older, I understand like why, and it helps set me for who I am, and I'm really proud of where I came from. So I appreciate my parents so much. Who do you admire the most right now? Probably my grandpa. He's fighting cancer, and he's so strong. He's been through a different type of cancer a handful of years ago, and he fought that, and it's heartbreaking and sad, but at the same time, it really goes to show, like, if you're willing to fight for something, like, I don't know, it just shows his character, and I just really admire him. What was your favorite subject in college? I had 2, probably, I think, anatomy and then abnormal psych. I loved abnormal psych. Both of those classes were very challenging. puzzles. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna scrap the board games because if I'm just in there, if I'm in a she shed by myself, puzzles, pick my numbers, maybe like an Alexa or a Google Home to play music. Who is your favorite superhero? I am not a huge superhero person. Probably Wonder Woman. Probably Wonder Woman. She just seems really, I don't want to swear, but like, BA. I can just kick butt and is really strong. How was your life in school while you were growing up? It was pretty normal. I am trying to think. I never really got bullied. I mean, like, my friends would joke about my height because I was always like the shortest growing up, and now I'm like average. But I mean, I had a decent amount of friends. Did first paycheck? I don't know, but it was probably like makeup, like drugstore makeup. Because my first paycheck would have been in high school, or like the summer after my senior year of high school, like before college. It was probably either food, like fast food, or makeup. Because I was so into YouTube tutorials and makeup and all of that stuff. And I had so much makeup, and I would Brooks' personal